This is the all-new Suzuki Jimny. It is the world's best-selling mini 4x4 with over 2.8 million units sold since its launch in 1970. Back then it was known as the LJ10, but since then it's developed such a cult-like following and an endearing fan base. Now, while it may be an all-new vehicle, some of the fundamentals have remained the same. So it still uses a ladder chassis, but they have given it a brand new patented cross brace, which makes it stiffer and so much more capable, as if it needed it. It's also still a true 4x4. It's got all-grip four-wheel drive with low range, and they've changed that up slightly as well, once again for the better. They have also changed the engine though, and gone is the little 1.3 litre engine, and in its place is a 1.5 litre engine. This engine now makes 75 kilowatts and 130 newton meters of torque. So it's still not, well, sprightly. It's not going to win any races. But because of its slight weight and small size, it can still go where, well, just about anybody else goes. And this upgrade in the capacity has made it so much better on the highway. One of the biggest talking points is, of course, the design. And while it is a new design, it's a bit retro, so it's a bit of an oxymoron if you think of it. What they've done is they've paid homage to the original LJ and SJ series Jimnys, the compact mini 4x4s that so many fell in love with. They've retained the upright grille from the previous generation, but they've given it a clamshell bonnet, and that's just like the SJ series. There's little details around the edges that make you think of the SJ and LJ. They've given it round headlights now, and these are LED units on this GLX model. Around the back, there's some new treatment as well, because they've moved the taillights from in the body down to in the bumper. What this means now is that they can make the door the full width of the vehicle, and that means that it's a lot more practical and convenient. All the openings open up a true 90 degrees. It is only two doors, with that one at the back, the barn door at the back, and that one also opens up 90 degrees. At the back you can fold the seats down to increase your load area, and that's a good thing because the Jimny, well, has always been a tiny little vehicle. And once you're in the interior, you'll see that, well, it's much of the same. It's new, but retro. So there's traditional things like this grab handle over here and individual binnacles for the instruments, orange background lighting that's even on during the day, and that shows you that it's all about practicality and functionality, utilitarian. They've given it a lot more room inside here, so there's a lot more shoulder room, feels like there's a lot more headroom, and in fact there is, because they've made these A-pillars, and all the pillars in fact, a little more upright. And that means that the roof can take a little more of a load should you put a roof rack on it. Now that's clever thinking, that's clever design. But when you take a look inside, you'll see that it is still very modern. So you've got electric windows, you've got digital climate control here. I've got cruise control and headlight washers. I've got Bluetooth. I've got a brand new 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system that is actually very, very good. It's easy to use with not too much context to the sub-menus, meaning that you can, well, get around quite easily in there. You'll also see that it's got things like hill descent control and traction control, which you can switch off. One of the bigger changes is an actual regression, where the Suzuki Jimny had an electronical control for the drive system to switch it from 2 high into 4 high and of course 4 low. They've gone backwards and they've fitted this one with a physical lever. You can switch it from 2 high into 4 high up to about 100 kilometers an hour on the fly. So that's great. Of course, for 4 low, you're going to have to stop things there. Out on the road, well, it feels like a typical 4x4. The steering's a little bit vague and it feels a little bit wallowy on the road, but that's that 210 millimeters of ground clearance. And by the way, it's got fantastic approach and departure angles as well. It's got that vague steering and wallowy drive so that it doesn't pull it out of your hands when you go and you hit the rough stuff and you're going off road. And it's to be expected, but it's still very enjoyable. I love the little Jimny, and there's so many others out there that do too. I think the styling is spot on. It borrows cues from things like the Land Rover Defender and some of the Jeeps, even the Mercedes-Benz G-Class. And that's not a bad thing, it's fantastic. because you can pick up a fun and interesting little Jimny for 265,000 Rand. That's for the GA model, on steel wheels and minus a few creature comforts. But this GLX model is 300,000 Rand, brand new, out of the box. If you want it with an automatic, it's going to be 320,000 Rand. And in terms of bang for buck, I don't think you're going to really get much better than that. This new little Jimny is an absolute winner. I could comfortably put one of these in my garage. That said, maybe the previous generation's going for a song now.